what I did was I made cassettes of the radio show, which nobody did in those days. Like, made cassettes of the radio show, and then I blew up the one article that we had that Mark Miller did in the Globe. That was a nice review, and I sent it out across Canada with the cassette. And it happened to be the first year that the jazz festivals were just collecting themselves across the country. And I got accepted to play these jazz festivals. So that was really the real launch. And it was just like these little steps, you know, just trying to kind of do something a little outside of what I was capable of doing, you know.
You then went to Cuba.
Yeah.
For a vacation.
Yeah, that happened in 1982.
And that changed your life.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly took me on another course for a while. I still, you know, see myself as doing a lot of, you know, I do other jazz projects and more mainstream thing, but that was, for us, it was a discovery because it was just like so much music there. And so much music. It was just eye-opening, you know, because you couldn't go anywhere without running into musical groups. And the people, generally, the Cuban people have a passion for music. And they have a respect for musicians. And it's just, you know, such a door opener by being able to play a musical instrument. And so that whole thing just took off. And, you know, the other thing, too, at that point, there wasn't any Americans there, of course, and there was hardly any tours. Tourism was really just starting in Cuba at that point. You know, the little ads in the paper. I remember seeing, you know, wow, this is incredible. Cuba, it seems so exotic. Let's check it out. This was $329 for the trip.
I heard it was a cheap vacation.
It was really cheap. It was like $329, hotel, meals, plane.
Did it give you a new sound? Did it wake you up? Did it enter your heart, your passion?
Well, the thing is, you know, the kind of music that I was really turned on by in jazz was really progressive jazz, like the music of Coltrane, and really experimental music. And I guess that music had an Africanness too. And so when we went to Cuba, and first of all, there were son montuno groups, which are more like kind of the mambo and big, you know, horn sections and really dance-oriented
the old
stuff.
50s that used to play in the hotels.
That was the first thing that I sort of heard. And then I heard the folkloric music, you know, which was the Afro-Cuban religious music with drums and voices and chants. And that was deep, you know. That was really, like, that really tweaked something special, you know. I have a funny story about Ed Mirvish, but I'll go somewhere else, because we took a folkloric group. Ed Mirvish was very kind to us, and because we had all these musicians here in 91, we brought all the musicians from our first recording to play Harborfront, and I was really beside myself because I needed a place. I needed to feed all these people, you know. It was like, and I remembered the history of Ed Mirvish gave a tractor to Fidel back in like 61 or 62, something like that. And in Cuba, everybody knows Honest Ed stores, you know, like because they know they can get stuff cheap. Well, especially in those days, you couldn't get anything in Cuba, but you could go to Honest Ed's and buy, you know, panties for like, you know, 49 cents. So this was amazing. So everybody knew Honest Ed's, and so I phoned him up and said I wanted to bring the band, all the 10 people to shop it. Could we get some sort of discount? He worked it out, but he said, not only that, I want everybody to come to the steakhouse. This is before when the steakhouse was still there, with myself and Ann. We're going to host a lunch. So we all went there, and he was just, I'm really going on a tangent, but it's such a nice story. The guys were just ordering everything. I mean, it was like, okay, guys, take it. He said, order anything on the menu. So, you know, some guys ordering a veal cutlet and a steak, you know.
For 49 cents.
Yeah, I know. No, it was pretty expensive, actually. And then ordering like a daiquiri and a scotch. And I was like, oh, this guy's really going to have some stomach problems at the end. But they just ordered all this food, and at the end, they were so buzzed by the drinks and the food, and Ed and his wife were just so, you know, just distinguished and so kind. They got up on the table and started singing this Afro-Cuban piece. And it was like, it's really unexplainable, but there was a real buzz in the room. just because they really were emoting, some real feelings. And Ed was like, at the end, he was almost crying. And he said, "Oh my God," he said, "I feel like I'm in the synagogue."
Right.
It was
all
really
that
beautiful.
soul. The soul.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. I mean, it was such an honest, a reaction. But anyway, went on a tangent there. We were talking about the folkloric music, and it was just like so many different styles of music, and such a generosity with the musicians and really wanting to share. I just felt like a Pandora's box or whatever, that's the wrong word, a treasure chest had been opened of like, wow, there is so much here and nobody knows about it. And we're here, and let's see how we can make some connections, and then...
And what about for you? What about your treasure chest?
Well, like for me, I mean, this whole thing has just kind of enhanced my feeling just about music, and that it's not, it's not this narrow thing. I mean, music is very, very broad, and you may specialize in certain areas, but I see myself as a jazz musician, but I work within the context of these other musical situations, bringing in collaborating, I guess would be basically the word, collaborating with other sources, and trying to, the most important thing is trying to, keep the integrity of both musics, keep the integrity of jazz, and keep the integrity of the Afro-Cuban music, because they're very, both are kind of sacred in their own way, and that's why the term Latin jazz kind of like, I'm not crazy about that word Latin jazz, because it just sounds like just a mixture of like, can't have this and that, but because I think it's very distinct, the two.
To me, to be the type of person that could get off a plane in any of the four corners of the world in an exotic destination or place.
That sounds good.
I
like that right now.
And hear another sound of music.
It's true.
That you are so, that you're so open to this.
It's very true. I mean, I search those things out. That's in, I'm not an academic. I'm totally hands-on. I want to experience. I've been like that since a little kid. I remember, and I told a couple of people this, they couldn't believe it, but when I would walk home from Brown School for lunch, if I saw somebody's door open, this is really bizarre. If I saw a door open, I'd just walk in. And I'd walk around the house, and I'd go upstairs and I'd look around the place. And
you sure this is your house?
Yeah, this is my house.
I don't want the police to come and throw us out of the interview.
I did this a lot. I was fearless for some reason. That's something I didn't have that. I feel really fortunate because nowadays, the kids are just like, and I did those kind of things. I wasn't afraid of things that seemed foreign or, maybe possibly scary. I wasn't scared to go into the forest. I wasn't scared to climb into a tunnel and